toxic masculinity.
All right, it's this is kind of funny. Lady Gaga has got her dogs back. This is fantastic. Everybody can be very happy now because Lady Gaga has got her dogs back. So let me go to this story. Hold on. So Lady Gaga, I don't know if you guys remember this. I reported on this earlier. Lady Gaga has an assistant, right? I think he's a gay white guy or something. I don't remember. Let me look this guy up. Lady Gaga assistant. There we go. Probably Lady Gaga ass is probably not the thing I want to look up. Okay, so there's a girl here. Let me see who the dog walker is. Okay, dog walker. Okay, so what's this guy's name? Hold on, let me just look his name up. That's not the right story. Ryan Fisher. There we go. All right, let's get a picture of this guy. Okay, so this is the dude. I think he's gay. Maybe he's not. But anyway, so this is him in the hospital after getting shot by these gangbangers. So this is her assistant that walks her dogs, right? And then she puts out a reward for these guys that almost murdered this poor guy. Puts out a reward for her dogs for $500,000, no question. So like she's basically like, if you stole my dogs and shot my dog walker guy, I don't really care about the dog walker. I just care about the dog. So bring back the dogs. I'll give you $500,000. That's what Lady Gaga said. All right. So this woman goes to the police station to return the dogs. Let's see here. So this old lady comes by. She's like in her 50s, I guess. Let me just read this. So the woman who returned Lady Gaga's stolen French bulldogs was among 5 people arrested in connection with the theft and shooting of the music superstar's dog walker, Los Angeles police said Thursday. Detectives do not believe that the thieves initially knew that the dogs belonged to the pop star. Yeah, they just... See, I mentioned this in my story. The story, when I covered this, I speculated that these people had no idea that this is Lady Gaga's dogs. And the reason is because these purebred dogs are actually worth so much money that criminals have figured this out, right? Gangbangers and stuff. They figured out that these are worth money, and so they'll steal them and then resell them because they're worth like thousands of bucks. So they know that they can just steal these dogs, and they go to rich neighborhoods, steal the dogs, and then resell them. And they actually shot and tried to kill this guy just to get the damn dog. It's a weird business to be in, but this is a business that gangs have figured out they can make money on this, right? And they didn't know it was Lady Gaga's dogs. But when they figured out it was Lady Gaga's dogs, they sent this older woman, to return them to get this $500,000 reward. But yeah, so I was right. So they didn't know that it was, according to detectives, they didn't know it was Lady Gaga's dogs. The motive for the robbery, investigators believe, was the value of French bulldogs. Thank you. That's what I said. Which can run in the thousands of dollars. The dog walker, Ryan Fisher, is recovering from the gunshot wound. He has called the violence a very close call with death in social media posts. He was walking Lady Gaga's 3 dogs named Asia, Koji, and Gustav. Somehow that sounds like exactly what I would imagine Lady Gaga's dogs are called. In Hollywood, just off the famed Sunset Boulevard, when he was attacked. I used to hang out there. I used to have a friend who would house sit for this girl who was being paid. So, yeah, Hollywood's a weird place, guys. And there was this house in the Hollywood Hills. I had a friend who used to stay at this house. And it was probably near where Lady Gaga lives. Hollywood Hills. And it was this big mansion. Beautiful house. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. And it was a place that had been bought or was being rented out by a guy for this Russian model. And the Russian model lived in the house. but the guy was like married to somebody else and had another house somewhere else. He was just super rich. So he rented this house out specifically for his mistress. And I didn't know the mistress, but I knew the girl that used to house sit for her. So when she'd go off back to Russia or to Europe or wherever, she was kind of famous, I think. My friend would house sit for her, and then she would call up some of her friends and be like, hey, I'm staying at this house if you want to come hang out. And so I'd just hang out at this mansion in the Hollywood Hills sometimes with a bunch of random Russian girls sitting by the pool and stuff. At the time, I was really poor, but I was a lot skinnier and better looking. And so I'm just sitting there by the pool, and I'm hanging out with all these Russian girls. And one of them turns to me one day, and she goes, you need to get rich. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, you are a perfect man. Like, you're very charming, you're very funny, you're very handsome, but you're very poor. No woman will ever want you. You're too poor. I was like, thanks. Yeah, I'm aware that I'm poor. I'm not doing this on purpose, And she's like, no, but even if you had like a little money, you could get like any girl you want. You should just make some money. I'm like, yeah, just like that, huh? That easy. Okay, I'll just do that. Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was a great backhanded compliment. One of the best backhanded compliments I ever got. But anyway, yeah, that was fun. So I used to like hang out up here where Lady Gaga lives. It is actually a very safe neighborhood if gangbangers aren't rolling through and trying to kill you for your dogs. It's actually a very nice neighborhood. So video from the doorbell camera of a nearby home shows a white sedan pulling up and two men jumping out. They struggled with Fisher and pulled a gun and fired a single shot before fleeing with two of the dogs, Koji and Gustav. The video captured Fisher's screams of, oh my God, I've been shot, help me, and I'm bleeding out from my chest. Lady Gaga offered $500,000 reward, no questions asked, to be reunited with the dogs. The singer had been in Rome at the filming of a movie. The dogs were returned 2 days later to an LAPD station by a woman who originally appeared to be uninvolved and unassociated with the crime, police initially said. The woman, identified Thursday as 50-year-old Jennifer McBride, had reported that she'd found the dogs and responded to an email address associated with the reward, police said. Yeah, sure. Yeah, this should be on, like, they used to have this show Dumb Criminals or something like that, or yeah, anyway, Stupid Criminals, or essentially people who are morons who don't know how to. Yeah, if you're going to find somebody to return the dogs, you genuinely need to find somebody who is totally unaffiliated with you, somebody who you can trust, but who you don't, who isn't like your mom or something like that, right? McBride turned out to be in a relationship with the father of one of the suspects, the LAPD said Thursday. It was not immediately clear if she had received the reward. Police arrested James Jackson, 18, Jalen White, 19, and Lafayette Wally, I'm not really sure how to pronounce his last name, 27, in connection with the violence. James Jackson, Jalen White, and Lafayette Wally, something like that. You know what they sound like? White supremacists. I bet this is Trump's fault somehow. Let's see here. They are charged with attempted murder, conspiracy to commit robbery, and second-degree robbery, according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. Jackson, who authorities say was the shooter, also faces charges of assault with a semi-automatic firearm and a felon carrying a concealed firearm in a vehicle. You know what they could do? They could ban AR-15s, and then this would never have happened. Because criminals always obey the law. We know that, right? And also, they all used AR-15s. They didn't, but let's just pretend they did, because that's what the Democrats want. Okay, let's see here. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is, if you ban AR-15s, it will do nothing, and these are not white supremacists, and everything the left says is wrong. Okay, White faces one count of assault by means of force likely to produce great bodily injury. Well, they got a lot of laws about shooting people. Let's see here. White's father, 40-year-old Harold White. You know what will probably happen, because we have Gascon as our district attorney here in Los Angeles. They'll probably be let out. They'll probably never even be prosecuted because George Gascon is a lunatic. Let's see here. Who's White's father, 40-year-old Harold White, and I'm the same age as him. That's funny. And McBride were arrested and accused of being accessories to the attack. The elder White, jeez. was also charged with 1 count of possession of a firearm, and McBride faces charges of receiving stolen property. Jackson, Wally, and the Whites are all documented gang members, according to the LAPD. Those white supremacists and their gangs. The 5 suspects were scheduled to be arraigned Thursday, according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. It was not immediately clear if they had attorneys who could speak on their behalf. All 5 are being held on $1 million bail each, online records show. I'm surprised we even have bail here in LA. I'm surprised we didn't go the way of New York already. Lady Gaga did not immediately address the arrests on her social media accounts Thursday afternoon. Fisher and Lady Gaga's representatives did not respond to any requests for comment. All right. So that's exciting. Lady Gaga's got her dogs back. When I originally reported this story, I always thought it was funny that she cared more about her dogs than this guy, which is like, of course she does. She's a freaking Hollywood person. Anyway, all right, that's it for the news. We are done, and I would love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions or comments, it looks like we have one super chat, but I can't find it, so I'm sorry, dude, but I'm not going to read it. But if you want to write at Toxic Space Masculinity, capital T, capital M, hopefully I will be able to find it and read it. That's at Toxic Space Masculinity, not underscore, space. All right, let's see. Frank James writes, both poor and fat. Poor guy. I was not fat. I was very skinny and hot, and then I got rich and fat. And by rich, I mean I can afford to eat. That's my definition of rich. When you're very poor, it's a very low bar for rich. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. I can't, yeah, there's not a lot of, you guys aren't saying a lot of stuff, so I might just end the show. Let's hear. Binary Recoil writes, news redacted tonight. Started running the Slace Police angle around 18 months ago. I don't have any idea what you're saying. Sorry, I don't know what that means. All right. Frank James also writes, ironic, the left is more likely to live in turf. Get it? Because it's imaginary. Yeah, that's exactly right. Hey, actually, guys. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.